This story begins in 2021 when my wife Sophia and I are 40 and 41 respectively. We had both been happily married for 18 years and had two lovely girls. We both were really in love, or so I thought. Our sex life wasn't perfect, but we had other ways of showing love and care, and we had never had any tough moments in our marriage. I work as a carpenter on my own and have done so since roughly November 2015, when Sophia was a pharmacist, and we were both doing well in our jobs and making good money. When our daughters were in bed, Sophia and I walked downstairs and decided to watch a movie together on Netflix. We began watching this movie about how a poor girl who had been poor her entire life then joined an escorting agency, and this girl mentioned in the film how she was earning around $1,000 per client. Sophia's answer to the girl's statement was, "There's me spending hours a day in a clinic making the same amount as a year she does in a month." When she stated this, I didn't think much of it and casually said, "Sure." After that, we watched the movie and then went to bed. Our lives were normal after that evening until roughly a month afterward. It was just another regular work day, and I got home around 3 p.m. after finishing a job and picking up the kids from school. Both of whom were 8, and around 4 p.m. I got a text from Sophia saying that she was going for a drink with a friend after work for a while to catch up, which I said was fine, so I fed the kids and put them to bed. I was simply watching football on TV and had not even recognized the time when my wife arrived home at approximately 10 p.m. I believed she must have been doing a wonderful time with her friend, so I did not question her about anything other than asking how it went. She then went up and took a shower, which was unusual because she has usually had a morning shower since we met. I didn't think anything of it, and we both went to bed as normal. Moved toward the weekend, Sophia said she was going to the town center for shopping because she hadn't been there in a long time, and I offered to drop her somewhere, but she politely declined, saying she would use her car, so she left and I stayed home and doing household tasks. Sophia had been gone for 5 hours and I hadn't heard from her, so I called her to see when she would return, but she did not answer, so I texted her to see when she would return. She did not read it, so I waited about half an hour and called her again, but she did not answer. At this time, I started to become worried. I tried contacting her frequently for around 40 minutes, but she did not answer. After being gone for a total of 9 hours, she called me and apologized for not answering, claiming that her phone had run out of battery and she needed to find and set some place to charge it. I believed her and forgave her, and when she returned home, we hugged and said the usual "I love you" to one another before Sophia went to the shower. I still had not suspected anything at this time. I had no concerns about her for the next few months, and life went on. During that time, there was a few times when she would meet up with a friend, and I would just let her go. There was also a few times when she would work late, pretending to be in the clinic until the office closed or something like that, and I would believe her. She also started working more regularly on Sundays. She did this occasionally before, but not as frequently as she did during this time. During this time, I also continued to work as usual. Then on Friday, Sophia returned from the clinic and told me that she had been invited to spend the night at her friend's house. I thought that this was a little strange because Sophia and the friend she was staying with met frequently anyway, so I was puzzled as to why Sophia would suddenly wish to stay at her place. Even so, I just agreed with her and offered to drop her off, but she declined, saying she would drive. The girls were playing on their own after she left that evening, and I was starting to become a little bored. As John, Sophia's friend, husband, and I were quite close friends, I then decided to ask him if he would like to come over for a beer. I then called John and asked him if he wanted to come over to my place for a pint while the women were gossiping at yours. He just said, "What do you mean? My wife is at home alone with me." My heart dropped at that point and I questioned him if he was serious. I could even hear his wife stating that it was just the two of them at the house in background. I ended the call and stood there for a while, thinking. I finally called Sophia, but she did not pick up the call. I then tried calling her 3 to 4 more times, but she still did not pick up. I also texted Sophia around 15 times asking if she was fine, but she did not respond. After putting the kids to bed, I thought about calling the police, but then received a call from Sophia saying she was very sorry for making you worry so much, and that she meant to call her another friend and said the wrong name by accident. She also said that she did not answer the phone because they were going to dinner, and after that I was so relieved. But I still told her to keep using her phone. I greeted her good night and went to bed, telling myself over and again, at least she's okay, but I could not help but ask why she stayed at dinner for such a long period. I then put my thoughts to rest and fell asleep. The next day, Sophia got home at approximately 2 p.m. and looked normal. When I asked her how her day had been, all she could say that she and her friends just had rested, chatted, and eaten. After a week of normal activities, the postman sent a package to our home addressed to Sophia. Since she rarely makes orders, I waited until she arrived home before giving it to her, to which she responded, "Oh, that must be my new phone." She stated that, which caused my mouth to drop open, and I said, "But you already got a new phone a few months ago that I got you." She continues, "Oh sure, but I wanted a bigger one, so I bought myself a new one." Even though I was a little upset and confused as to why she had purchased a new phone, an iPhone 8 Plus at that time, I let it go. 2 days later, she returns from work with a brand new hairdryer and curling iron, which she acquired following labor. They were also a very expensive brand, so I questioned her about why she was spending so much money on stuff she previously had. This wasn't typical of her, but I once again let it go when she responded, "Oh, I never buy myself lovely new stuff, so thought I would treat myself." Although it worried me, I could have brought her the gifts because it was her birthday in 6 weeks. In about a week, Sophia was wearing a brand new spotless Pandora bracelet with a few elegant gems on it as we sat at our dinner table with the girls conversing as normal. I asked her where she got it, and when I asked if she liked it, she said, "Oh yes, I forgot to tell you, I purchased a new bracelet. It's great, but why are you spending so much money on things that aren't required all of a sudden?" I said. "In just over a month, it will be your birthday." She showed her anger that I was questioning her by saying, "Come on, I never buy myself stuff, and I wanted it, and for my birthday I don't want any gifts from you. All I want is you to spend time with you." In a somewhat annoyed voice. After that, because we did not want to argue in front of the kids, we ate in quietly. I did, however, reach a breaking point as a result of it, and I started to get a strange feeling in my mind. Sophia and I kissed and went to bed after I said to her, "I'm really happy you're getting these nice things and loving them, but just be careful with what you spend." She said sorry, and she'll be careful from now. Although the feeling in my brain had gone, I was still curious about where she was obtaining her extra cash. 3 more weeks pass, 2 or 3 days in actuality, and on Saturday night, Sophia says that she is going out for drinks at a bar with her boss, a woman, and another colleague, also a woman. The next few hours are spent at home with the kids. Then things start to become serious. After Sophia left, the postman delivered a parcel from Amazon to our door, addressed to Sophia. I started to wonder what she had ordered, because for many days I was seeing that she was spending a lot of money, so I opened the package. When I opened the package, I was shocked. The surprising thing was that it had been 14 years since our wedding, and Sophia had never purchased such an exposed nightgown. Even she does not like this stupid vulgar dress. My mind was going with so many bad thoughts that how could my wife order this? I had not yet recovered from the shock that one of my friends calls me at around 10 p.m. I haven't spoken to him in a few weeks, so I wasn't sure why he was calling. I took up the phone and he revealed to me that he was at a club and had seen my wife sitting with a man who was around my age, dressed up in a very exposing outfit and sharing a few kisses. My heart stopped as he said that, and I was silent for at least 30 seconds. "Excuse me," I said in reply. I believed he was making the things up, so I requested him to send a picture. But at the same time, I was wondering, how do I know if she went with her work colleague? "My friend, I am being serious," he says. "I just noticed them sitting together at a table as I was walking back from the toilet. I haven't said anything to them." My friend then sent me a photo, which was a bit distant since he did not want to be seen taking the photo, but when I zoomed in, I knew it was Sophia because she was sitting next to another man and was wearing an unbelievably low-cut outfit. I had no idea she wore an outfit like that, but that wasn't what I was thinking as I started sweating and nearly crying. I asked her friend for the address of the club they were at, then I hurried to the vehicle, left the girls at home and drove as quickly as I could for 20 minutes to get there. My friend was waiting outside as I parked, so we hurried inside and she directed me to Sophia. I then stopped in place as I turned to face the direction he was pointing. My wife of 14 years was there, laughing and dancing with an unknown man. Oh my God, she's cheating on me. This was all I could think of at that time. She had on a gorgeous makeup. She never looked like that when we were together. Her new hair jewelry, red shoes, and a dress that provided the world with a stunning glimpse of her enormous body. The best dressed person in the entire club was Sophia. I just stood there and stared at her. When I finally approached her and gave her a shoulder rub, Sophia turned to face me with a horrified expression on her face. "Sophia, what in the world are you doing here?" I yelled. "Who is this man exactly?" "It's only a work colleague meeting, honey. Don't raise your voice," she replies as she gets up and places her hand on my arms. I immediately asked, "Wearing a dress like that? Nowhere. You're coming along with me." Sophia kept talking nonsensely as she followed me as I picked up her bag and left the club. The man she was with was silent the entire time. Sophia started crying and screaming as soon as we both sat in the car. I asked her, "Now, Sophia, please tell me who that man was," in a calm voice. "And how long have you two been having this relationship?" "No, we don't have a relationship and we're not dating. This was our first time meeting," she said, while still sobbing uncontrollably. "Then who was he?" I asked. "Why do you have on such a sexy dress too?" Sophia continues, "I've been working for a high-class escorting service for the past several months and I resigned from my job as a pharmacist then too. All those times I was coming home late, seeing a friend, I was spending the time with a client. She was really with clients for the whole day, not the hours. I was led to believe she spent at the pharmacy." She claimed that she quit her regular job and started working as an escort full-time after making so much money in her first week of doing it. She did not want to tell me because she knew I wouldn't agree, but this explains why she suddenly began purchasing so many costly stuff. She claimed that even though that escort girl in the movie was a fictional character, she still felt jealous. She could be making much more money after seeing it with us a few months earlier. I really could not believe what she had been up to all this time, all because of a pointless movie. Then I posed a serious question to her. "Have you been having relationship with these clients?" She agreed, and I wasn't surprised by her answer. She continues by expressing her desire for my forgiveness and her belief that we may make things right. She will leave the company after this and admit that she did not have sex with any customer, but since I had enough, I took Sophia straight to her parents' house and dropped her off there. When I came home, I sat in silence in a corner of my room and tried to digest what just had happened. All one could ask was how such a blissful and ideal married life could alter so radically in only a few months due to that stupid movie. Despite this, there was a lot more talking and discussion, and in the end, Sophia and I got a divorce. Since I've been taking care of the children and Sophia was moved home with her parents, the girls get picked up every weekend and spend the weekend with Sophia. Since then, I have been liking being single.